Welcome to Module 4.4. In this final section, we're going to talk about how researchers figure out what they learned from a study, and just as importantly, how they decide to share that information with others. This step is called analysis and dissemination, and it's where all the data becomes something useful. Remember, if you're going through this training independently, make sure to open up the training guide link for Module 4.4. How do researchers decide what they learned? When all of the quantitative and qualitative data from a research study has all been collected, there is still much more work to do. Specifically, researchers are responsible for analyzing data to see if what they found is similar or different than what they hypothesized or predicted. Usually, we decide before we collect the data how we will analyze the data. In both types of research, we rely on analysts who are experts in how to analyze quantitative or qualitative data. Quantitative analysts are trained in advanced statistics and statistics computer programs. Qualitative analysts are trained in documenting and interpreting what people say and do, which also often includes computer programs that help organize text. Once researchers have collected their data, whether it's numbers, words, or both, they need to analyze it to find patterns and meaning. In quantitative research, researchers use statistics to test whether their hypothesis was supported. They might look at averages, percentages, or whether one group had better outcomes than another. They use special software like SPSS or SAS or R to help them. In qualitative research, researchers review interviews, focus groups, or observations to identify common themes or new insights. They might involve reading transcripts, coding responses by topic, and pulling out quotes that show how people felt or what they experienced. Researchers usually plan their analysis approach before they collect the data. This helps avoid bias and ensures the study is trustworthy. As a community board member, you might not do the actual analysis, but you can ask, what do the results tell us? Are the findings being interpreted in a way that feels fair and accurate? Are there voices or experiences in the data that need more attention? How do we share what we learned? This step is called dissemination. It's about getting research findings into the hands of the people who can use them. Researchers often share findings by writing articles for academic journals, creating reports for funders or policymakers, or presenting at conferences. But these formats aren't always accessible or useful to the people who the research is actually about. That's why community boards can help researchers think about community-friendly dissemination, such as hosting an event or open house in the community, creating easy-to-read fact sheets or infographics, making short videos or social media posts, sharing findings in clinics, support groups, or peer meetings, or co-presenting with community members who were involved in the study. You can also help ensure that findings are shared respectfully in ways that reflect strengths as well as challenges, avoid harmful stereotypes, and use people-first and non-judgmental language. Think about a study that included people like you or someone you know. How would you want to hear about the results? For example, where would you feel most comfortable learning about the findings? What format would be easiest to understand? And what tone or message would make you feel seen and respected? Please pause the video while you record your responses. If you are following along independently in your Module 4.4 Training Guide link, make sure to use the guide to record your answers. You've reached the end of the training. You've learned how to help decide what questions are asked, how research is designed, who gets included, and how findings are shared. Your voice can help make research more ethical, more meaningful, and more useful for families and communities. Thank you for being a part of this training. We hope you feel more confident in your role as a community board member, guiding research that matters. And for the last time in this training, if you are following along independently, make sure that when you complete the questions in Module 4.4, that you let your coordinator know you are finished.